Now I'm on the stage.
Here we are.
The stage.
We royally screwed that up. Anyways, let's start over. This is Ball Talk for Joes and Pros. We are presenting from Roto Street Journal. I'm your host, Tanner, otherwise known as Smooth on Twitter, and this is Brendan. We've been wanting to start this podcast for a while /show. Probably of like 4 or 5 years now. Me and Brennan went to school at the University of Kansas together. And he is more your casual ball watcher, while I'm more your deep dive analytic guy. We love to have fun. Today we're probably going to just go through probably my top 20 at least running backs for the 2025 NFL class, and then Brennan's kind of going to give his insight as well. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just kick things off, and I guess we'll ask Brennan kind of what.
Hold on. I think we should say how we started this. We came here once. We've been talking about doing a podcast for years. We like to gamble together, so we would. I guess we should say we both like to gamble. We started off individually. Me, Joe, not very successful. Tanner, smartest guy on the planet, gives out picks, does all the research, the deep dives, the numbers. I started following his picks, so then we just ended up having all these very long dog walk, 40-minute conversations. And from there, we were just like, we should just fucking record this. And did it once, and then he did an intro without me. It referred to me as sidekick. Joe is a little bit more street appropriate, so we accepted these terms here. So now we're going to do it.
Yeah, so I guess, we're really just going to talk about NFL draft. There's going to be betting projections, obviously fantasy, dynasty. So we're going to hit all those aspects. Today's going to be about running backs. Sunday is going to be about wide receivers. And then Tuesday, we're probably going to do quarterbacks and tight ends. So the reason we're starting off with running backs is because, in my opinion, this running back class is it's the deepest position in this class, in my opinion. Last year, it doesn't even compare. There are 6, 7, 8 Bucky Irvings in this class. Last year, it was a lot harder to kind of say grade or evaluate running backs. A lot of number ones on people's board last year was Jonathan Brooks. And then you had Trey Benson, and then there was Bucky Irving and Audric Estime and all these guys.
I was just going to look up because I couldn't even tell you running backs taken in the first round.
None of them
Bucky Irving
really hit. Bucky Irving is the only one that hit, and the main reason people were low on him in the first place is because he tested bad, which that's another thing we'll talk about. In my opinion, the combine really doesn't mean anything. It's just a great time for these prospects to meet the teams. It's mainly medical stuff. But also if, they're lower in the draft and they're not like a consensus top pick, that's a great time for them to juice their draft stock.
Teams love RAS.
Yes. Teams do love when guys test well, and so does Twitter. Twitter absolutely, every time someone runs a, Matthew Golden, and we'll talk about him as well. He's, another guy that wasn't really on any boards before that 40-yard dash, and then he runs a 4.29, and everyone's like, oh my God, this guy, wide receiver 1. So, obviously measurables are important, but in my opinion, running backs there's a lot of stuff you can look at. And I think it's a lot tougher to grade, in my opinion, running backs, just because you're not using the same data as like wide receivers, tight ends, etc. So why don't I ask Brennan? Brennan, kind of give me your rough kind of top 10. Just off
the guaranteed top 10 running back list.
Guaranteed top 10, Brennan, running backs.
Tanner asked me to put together a top 10 running back list, and you will all come to learn. Don't listen to it. But, I mean, with one, we'll just do 1 through 3.
Okay.
I think all of them are different. Or should we just do 1 and 2 because we have the same?
Let's do your top 3 first.
We have Jeanty, Hampton, then Judkins. Jeanty, huh?
Judkins.
I mean, Jeanty is the sexy guy. He's everyone's number one. He went to Boise State. So I don't watch, I'll watch Kansas college football. I'm not watching every college football game. So I'm just basing this off. I'm hearing everything about him, but he's at Boise State. He plays against, what they play, Penn State. So then all the attention's on him. Sack box. He's fumbling the ball. I don't know how many yards he had, but I know it wasn't a crazy game. It just kind of worries me. I feel like one of these guys, 2 through 5, is going to end up being a little bit better. I think he's going to be a great back. I don't know about the top 10. I feel like someone's going to overdraft him.
Okay. In my opinion, Jeanty is like your standard Jahmyr Gibbs / Bijan Robinson type. He is, in my opinion, he's the just only consensus prospect, especially in Dynasty, your 101. He is him.
I think he's the only blue chip back.
No. So if we're just talking running backs, there are 3 elite prospects in this class, in my opinion. And that's going to be Ashton Jeanty, Kaleb Johnson, and Omarion Hampton. Those 3 guys are elite. After that, you can argue otherwise. Right now, there's a ton of hype around your Judkins, your TreVeyon Henderson. So, the reason for that, obviously, is they tested very well, and they were in the college football playoffs. They were in prime time for the entire world to see.
Big schools.
They played very well. They won the national championship. So it's not that I don't think those guys are good, but with how good this running back class is, I'd put those guys outside of my top 3 right now. So just to recap, my top 3 is going to be Ashton Jeanty, and my 2 is going to be Kaleb Johnson, and my 3 is going to be Omarion Hampton.
You think there's much of a drop-off?
I'd say Kaleb and Omarion are in identical tiers. You can argue either or.
I agree.
I don't think you can go wrong picking Omarion over Kaleb. I don't think you can go wrong picking Kaleb over Omarion. But without a doubt, Jeanty's the best running back in the class. We know this. So for Jeanty, what is kind of your all right, why is this guy RB1?
I don't know. He's just number one. I get into I think he's just based on what he did. I think he's the best. But when you talk about Hampton, I heard a comparison or a description of he just wears you down throughout the game. That just reminded me of Jonathan Taylor. Just a guy, you give him the ball 20 times. You don't have to take him off the field much. I don't think he had any injuries, right?
Not really, no. He played all 3 years.
Yeah. I just feel like he's going to be solid. So I'm switching back from my list.
So something that I definitely found interesting, and this is going to be from my friend FF Marvin E on Twitter. He posted a stat about Jeanty talking about his yards per team play and team yards market share. Those 2 statistics, in my opinion, are important. Team yards market share, especially. Opportunity is important for running backs. Stats, yes, great. But the more opportunity, the better. So if we're comparing Ashton Jeanty to your Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey, Ashton Jeanty had more yards per team play than Leonard Fournette. He had more yards per team play than Dalvin Cook. And he had just about dead even team yards market shares, those two. So the only kind of like glaring prospect with more yards per team play was Christian McCaffrey. And Ashton Jeanty was 2.10 and McCaffrey was 2.12. So
I'm just nervous about him because he didn't do that when he played. Did they play any? I don't even know what conference Boise's in, but when they played Penn State, like his game is full of broken tackles, and he just was not breaking tackles against guys that are going to be in the NFL. So those stats, whenever I hear that, like, yes, he has all the big stats, and it's beautiful, it's incredible. But
the
then
team went through Jeanty.
Huh?
The entire team went through Jeanty. That Boise State team.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made the playoff without him.
He single-handedly brought them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
You take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah. I saw a few sketchy things in that Penn State game that I didn't like, but for the most part, I don't think I'm worried about Jeanty as a prospect overall.
What about if he goes to a team? I don't know where he's supposed to. I saw him getting mocked to like the Raiders a lot.
The Raiders, and I think their GM just came out today and said that he's very interested in taking a running back high and has no issue doing so. So the Raiders, I think, are definitely in on Jeanty. And then I like the fit with the Bears personally for Jeanty.
That would be a lot better because I feel like he's going to, like, if he has no quarterback and there's no passing attack, and it's just like, here's our star. I just feel like NFL defense are going to stack the box and eat that up, and it'll be Penn State times 10.
Correct. That's just kind of if he even falls to 10. That would be quite far for Jeanty to fall.
I don't know. Whoever's going to it will be interesting.
But anyways, for Jeanty, he is just absolutely like blue chip. Like so college dominator rating is essentially
that's like, a great name.
Yes. So there are three things that I like to look at for running backs, and that's going to be college dominator rating, college yards per carry, and college target share. I think all these things matter in terms of where prospects develop in the NFL. Pass catching is really important. Versatility in general is very important for running backs. So for Jeanty, he has a 96th percentile college dominator rating, 43.7%.
So he dominates 47% of the time.
Well, correct. Yeah. But it's percentage of total team yards and total team touchdowns throughout their entire career.
So he had 50% of the touchdowns and yards at Boise State?
Correct. He had 43.7%.
Yeah.
Of the touchdowns and yards. So his college yards per carry was 7 yards per carry. That is 93rd percentile. His target share, very healthy, 10.4%. 84.
The ball?
Huh?
He caught the ball 10% of the time?
No, that's his target share.
Okay.
Which is his share of obviously the team's pass attempts. And then, so the reason why I kind of have Kaleb Johnson there at 2,
cool. My little bottom thing,
is that Kaleb Johnson has a 99th percentile college dominator rating.
Jeez.
48.9%. Kaleb is very legit. Did not test as well as Omarion Hampton. Everyone is consensus now.
He's a big guy.
That Hampton is the 2. And they might be right. But my counter argument, what if Kaleb Johnson is better?
Value. He's not going to go top.
It's a draft capital doesn't mean anything in terms of if a running back's going to be better than one or another.
If you can wait and grab him in the second or third.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to go in round 2, and I think Hampton probably will go round 1.
Yeah.
But that, that's obviously not. Sorry, was that?
It's a risky pick. If he's right there, like if we're saying these two guys are right there, I know you hate draft capital, but
I've heard talks of Hampton going top 15.
no fucking way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's very good, but it's how much does the league value the running back position?
Which has gone up a ton. Like before it was just you can get 1, 2 through 5, 3 through 6, but now like the Eagles, they're not winning the Super Bowl if they didn't have Saquon, an A-tier blue chip running back.
Right, and that's kind of the point that everybody is making, is that you can get a good running back, but why not just pay a veteran, hit the draft for more essential positions?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the opposing argument, I guess.
Jeanty's got the monster thighs that kind of remind me of Saquon. I don't know. I might change my take on Jeanty. Might need to snag him top 10.
I really like Jeanty, if I'm being quite honest. I think he's probably your safest prospect easily at the running back position. So after Kaleb Johnson and Omarion Hampton, that's where it kind of gets wishy-washy for me. I have Quinshon, Judkins, and then I have TreVeyon Henderson as well at 5.
Let's get into some Henderson.
So I've been back and forth about these two guys pretty much the entire year. And I liked Henderson more at one point just because I think his pass catching ability might be better for the league. And then Judkins is just awesome to watch. So I thought about maybe putting them outside of my top 5 and putting my Kansas bias aside with Devin Neal, but I just couldn't do it. I think these guys are going to go at least in the second round, Judkins and Henderson. And
Probably.
They're very good. But one thing that does worry me about these guys, so just to go through my top 10 here a little bit, I have Ashton, Jeanty, I have Kaleb Johnson, I have Omarion Hampton, Quinshon, Judkins, TreVeyon Henderson. Then I have Ollie Gordon at RB6. Then I have Dylan Sampson at RB7. Then I have Cam Scatabo at RB8, Devin Neal at RB9, and DJ Giddens at RB10.
You're hating on Devin Neal.
I'm not. Look, that's the thing about this class is like you can have guys lower, but you're not. I'm not hating on these guys. This class is really good. It's really good. But just kind of looking through all those guys, Jeanty, 96th percentile college dominator rating. Kaleb Johnson, 99th. Hampton, 90th. Gordon, 86th. Sampson, 84th. Scatabo's got a 93rd dominator rating, and Devin Neal's got an 85th. Judkins and Henderson, Judkins has a 60th percentile college dominator rating, and Henderson's got a 43rd percentile college dominator rating. So those two clearly are kind of like, I don't know, they're outliers. They tested very well.
They both catch the ball well. They were both run routes.
Judkins got 4.48 40, 91st percentile speed score, 94th percentile burst score. Like this guy is just crazy athletic. But is he going to translate? Not sure.
Did they put Henderson in the slot?
Sorry, what was that?
Did they let Henderson run routes out of the slot?
Probably not.
I know Judkins did. That makes me feel like he'd be able to catch a little bit more. let's get into Henderson. I think I watched however many games Ohio State played in the playoff, but my little deep dive I did. So what? His freshman year, he was a bell cow back. He had an okay year, and then his next 2 years, he was hurt, had injury problems the whole two years. And then this year, he has his absolute best year. This is what bumps him up the rankings and everything. He's a change of pace guy. He's splitting duties. I'm just absolutely talented guy. He seems like a phenomenal player, but it just kind of hearing that, it just kind of worries me that he's not going to be able to be the guy. So I don't know how you're going to take someone who can't be the guy in the second round. He could. I mean, some guys get hurt for a couple of years and then they stay healthy forever.
But there's the counter argument. It's or at least his final year, his senior year, Henderson played with Judkins. That's legit competition. They both played very well, but that's certainly a talking point. Henderson fell off due to injuries his sophomore, junior year, but his freshman year, he was electric. This guy was a 5-star recruit out of high school. He was very good.
3,000 yards his freshman year? I thought he didn't.
Yeah, he went for like 1,200 yards, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, Henderson was very good, and I mean, I kind of wish Judkins and Henderson I wish Judkins wouldn't have transferred, so they would have both been feature backs, and we could have seen how they did in their final years. But yeah, that is something that worries me. It's like, at least in this class, like Henderson is out of, I guess, 20 backs in this class. Henderson is 13th in team yards market share. Judkins is 12th. So, like I said, opportunity is important for these running backs when I'm evaluating them, at least out of college. So, Kaleb Johnson, second in team yards market share, 31%. Hampton's sixth, 24%. I think Kaleb can handle more of a workload. Kaleb is your workhorse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a 3-down back. He can pass block for you, keep him in on third down. He doesn't catch the ball super well, does he? Pass guy. But if you can keep him in there block, you can keep him in there on 3 downs.
Actually, Kaleb Johnson, if we're just on the topic of Kaleb Johnson, I already mentioned he has a 99th percentile college dominator rating, but he also has an 83rd percentile college yards per carry and an 82nd percentile college target share. He can catch passes too.
Yep. We're going to get into this a little bit. Unfortunately, that's the helmet I have behind me. It's been a hard time, but I think the Colts are going to have to take a back to back up JT. He didn't get hurt last year, but I fear that it's coming. He's someone that I think I don't want him to take one in the second round or third round, but he's one that I feel like would complement really, really well.
I don't think the Colts are going to hit the draft for running back. I hate to burst your bubble.
I'll put a guarantee on that.
Really? All right.
I'll get a tattoo, actually, if they don't.
I think they have a lot larger concerns than running back. Like
third or fourth round, fifth round, I guarantee they do.
Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones are going to duke it out for a QB1 job this offseason.
2 monkeys throwing shit at each other. But AR will win the job. We'll get into this. We'll get into this after the draft. I could talk about this for 45 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony Richardson sucks.
No, he doesn't.
But
you're incoming.
We know that.
No. I'll pop off. Let's keep this civil for now. I'll pop.
Right.
Fuck off.
You still have hope for A. Rich.
Good morning to everyone who is an Anthony Richardson believer and only Anthony Richardson believers.
But yeah, that's mainly my take on Kaleb Johnson. Obviously, Omarion Hampton has like several years of production, and Kaleb Johnson is more so his last year. But the metrics are there.
These guys all have the production behind them. These aren't guys that are like super high testers. We'll get into to my guy down the line. But
and that's an interesting point you made too, though, about Kaleb Johnson not being a pass catcher. He is, but most people don't really know that because they just, I don't know, prospect.
Watch Iowa football games.
Correct. Prospect fatigue. Other guys are getting juiced up the boards. Hampton had an insane combine. But like Hampton, he's got an 85th percentile college target share. He can catch passes too, but pretty much dead even with Kaleb Johnson with a worse yards per carry and a worse college dominator rating.
Yeah, if I'm a team, I would almost let one, like if you need a running back, I would just almost wait for the second one. Like they're
bingo. If I'm a team, if I'm an NFL team, I just would wait until round 2, and running backs are going to go like candy in round 2 and 3 and 4.
You think the drop off is after, who'd you have Johnson paired with? You saw
like rankings wise?
Yeah.
Hampton.
Yeah. Do you think the drop off is there?
In terms of what? Drop off and what?
Like you got your A tier, your B tier, your C tier, which is, I mean, the B tier really is pretty huge.
Yeah, I think there is a significant, or not significant, but I think there is at least a tier drop after Jeanty, Kaleb, and Hampton. Those are my top 3 without a doubt. Okay. Anyone else can be argued. I have Ollie Gordon at 6. A lot of people have him at 15. A lot of people have him at 20. I don't think I've seen anybody have him as high as RB6. And
you're big on him.
I love Ollie Gordon.
He's got a cool name.
I'm kind of betting on 2023 Ollie Gordon because he was atrocious this past year, or more so Oklahoma State was atrocious. But
is he Melvin's brother?
I don't think so.
I'll find out. If he is, then that would be on my ranking.
You'll bump him up just off of name likeness.
Guys that have a football in their family automatically up.
So where are you on Trevor Etienne?
He's not on the guaranteed list.
He's not on the. You know what? He's my RB20. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got up to 15, and after 12, it was
totally fine. There's a lot of interesting names in this class that I like, though, especially ones going late. And if I'm just kind of mentioning names, so my RB11 is Damian Martinez. Another Colt. Oh, Brennan likes Damian Martinez. What do you think about Damian Martinez, Brennan?
I need to go to my list or my notes. I don't have any notes on him. If you want to know, honestly, I was playing Madden. Playing Madden as a Colts fan isn't fun, so it's always skipping the end of the year and doing a draft. Took him in the 4th or 5th. Fantastic, strong runner. He's a big guy. He's got great acceleration down the field. This is all purely based on Madden. I'm going to let you fill in the details on the real life statistics. Good pass blocker from what I saw as well.
Absolutely. I really like Damian Martinez. He is like your workhorse running back, breaks tackles, very good contact balance, finisher, drives interior lanes. But besides the fact on the number side, Damian Martinez is pretty good deep metric wise this season. He was tied for 3rd in offensive grade amongst all running backs in college football this year. 3rd.
It's his dominating rating.
Actually, not good. It's 34th percentile.
They had Cam Ward, so they didn't have to rely on him. He could have been benefiting a little bit from that.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't. He just didn't get the workload. Simple as that. He didn't get opportunity. Kind of my reason for him being outside of my top 10. I know he's inside of your top 10.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I do like Damian Martinez. And then the next one was 12. I had Bejul Tootin. Tootin.
Yeah, I never heard of that guy. Sounds great.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, Tootin's pretty good. Tootin's got a 90th percentile college dominator rating.
I love Tootin.
Yeah, Tootin's pretty good. He can also catch passes too at a 10% college target share. So, guys, pretty good. Another name that I really like is another Oregon Duck. It's Jordan James. Love the name too. I like the name Jordan James. It just,
I can say that about
the certain names just sound like oh yeah, like Hall of Fame.
Fast guy.
No, like you hear a name and you're like, oh, is that like some like Hall of Famer?
Could be.
Like Kaleb Johnson. That sounds like a Hall of Famer to me.
It does.
Doesn't it? Kaleb Johnson. It just sounds like David Johnson. It's just simple, but it's so it's just powerful.
Judkins sounds pretty powerful. Sounds like he's got
Quinshon, Judkins, yeah. Or it'll be like, a couple years he'll almost knocked my computer off my table.
Earthquake.
Anyways, yeah, earthquake in Chicago, Illinois. Anyways, what are we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
Scared the shit out of me.
That scared the shit out of me.
We were talking about Tootin, but I don't know where we went from there.
Tootin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
We skipped over our guy.
What guy?
You might have him out of the top 10, though.
Who?
Devin Neal.
No, Devin Neal is my RB9.
Okay. We're 12.
So I have respect for Neal, but ahead of him, I do have Cam Scatabo, Dylan Sampson, and Ollie Gordon.
Okay.
Who are just outside my top 5. Cam Scatabo's awesome.
It's gonna be hit or miss.
Love the guy. Yeah, he's so hit or miss. He's a little bit on the older side of prospects too. He's 23. So
a little more wear and tear.
He's just older. You're gonna get less years out of him.
Smart player, gym rat. Scrappy guy.
We're talking about age. I think the youngest running back in this class is Dylan Sampson.
How old's Brashard?
Brashard is 22, which is fine.
Okay.
There's not too many old running backs in this class except my RB16, RJ Harvey. He is 24 years old.
I'm sure he's a great guy, but that name just sounds like...
He's actually a beast. He's got a 96th percentile college dominator rating and a 91st percentile college yards per carry. He's very good, but he's just old.
Yeah. Let's go back to Scatabo.
Oh, you want to go to Scatabo?
We gotta finish there. He's so I'm assuming I didn't look at the testing, but I'm assuming he didn't test well. This is just kind of a thing where he might not have the crazy athleticism. Gym rat, Peyton Hillis, but he sees the field well, and he catches the ball really well too. He's not fast, but reliable hands. I heard him compared to Kyron Williams. Not super great testers, but those intangibles are there. He's a little bit bigger. Does he stretch the field well, like on stretch runs, or is he more of just like an inside gap hitter?
He runs right into contact.
Does he run through a motherfucker's face?
Yeah, he's a bowling ball, Cam Scatabo.
I like a bowling ball as a running back is great. I feel like the first guy I heard, dark turn.
I like Scatabo, but there's a demon inside of me that's telling me that I should put Devin Neal ahead of him.
I agree. We'll get into Devin, but I
really like Devin Neal.
I feel like you can't take Scatterbo. It's Scatterbo. It's Scatterbo.
Is it?
Maybe. I feel like you can't take him. I feel like in the 4th would be kind of a reach. I feel like I'd be happy with him in the 5th, but it's going to work or it's not. And I feel like could just end up being – if he's an RB1, I feel like I'd be pretty surprised. I feel like he'd be a pretty solid RB2.
He can do everything that an NFL team needs him to do, though.
I don't know if he's going to be athletic enough to get you what you want.
I mean, he's not the fastest guy, Cam Scatterbo, but he's got an 89th percentile burst score. He's got burst. So he's bursty. He can accelerate quickly, but when he gets going, he's not really at an elite top speed.
Yeah, but if you pick up 4 or 5 yards, run through contact.
Exactly. That's all you need. Yeah. You just need the burst really to, hit the holes.
Yeah. Oh, when I said earlier, Tanner freaked out when I said I had a comparison between him and Jeanty. His mind blew up. That's what I was going to say is who he played for? The Sun Devils State.
Arizona State. He actually started out at Sacramento State.
Good for him. But when he played Texas, didn't he have – he had 300 yards against Texas? And didn't they go to overtime in that game? I don't think they're doing that without him. So he played very well against good competition. So that's kind of the leaner. Like Jeanty didn't, but that scrappy guy did.
But nonetheless, Jeanty's rated obviously far higher. But Scatterbo, he put himself on the map by, doing what he did in the playoffs and bringing Arizona State as far as they went. So Cam Scatterbo obviously played a huge part in that. And Cam Scatterbo was a beast, like actually a beast.
I think as soon as he gets drafted, he instantly is RB2 on the all-white versus all-black team as well.
Dude, I'm not kidding. His stat line is absurd from this past season. 1,700 rushing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 605 receiving yards.
That's what I was going to ask. That's a ton. So is he running routes or is it just like screen passes?
Oh, he's running routes.
Like out of the slot and out of the backfield or out of
he's like your short yardage, like goal line back. But yeah, he's like a natural ball catcher. He's a very skilled receiver.
Okay.
And I don't know. He's got this like infectious energy about him, and I don't know. Just something about him makes me think that a team should absolutely like. He seems like a 49er to me.
How come?
I don't know.
He could go.
I
can have him on the Colts as well if they take him at the right time.
Like use checks, like little bro in the locker room.
Oh yeah, he might be RB3 then on the squad.
But so I didn't really finish my point about Mr. Ollie Gordon. So my main point about Ollie Gordon obviously was a main disappointment this past season, but in 2023 he won the Doak Walker for the most valuable running back in the nation.
You just taught me what that was.
Running back in the nation. He is one of 4 sophomores to win the award, and he is, I believe, the youngest of all running backs ever to win the Doak Walker.
The heavy guy, 226.
The last sophomore to win the Doak Walker is Jonathan Taylor, your guy. What do you think about that?
It entirely changes my opinion on him.
It does.
Bowling ball, what is he, 6?
And no, here's the thing. So
226, that's a big dude.
He's huge. Well, I want to get into Ollie Gordon a little bit more.
Go for it. I have nothing on him, so the floor is yours.
I mean, he's 6'1", That is 89th percentile for running backs. He's 226, but I think he could be larger, more like 230, 233.
You're not going to want him to play at that weight, though.
He has a 99th percentile wingspan. That guy on blocks is going to be on pass blocking, all those situations. Like, he's going to be awesome to have, and coaches are going to love that guy, and they're not going to want him to come off the field.
Mike Tolbert was 243, but he was like 5'8".
I think I like made like a few comps, like measurable wise, like based on height and weight and stuff like that. What did I have for Ollie Gordon? I kind of comped like a small Eddie Lacy or like a Carlos Hyde.
Does Carlos Hyde weigh that much? I think it was.
Yes, dude. Carlos Hyde was a bowling ball. Look up how much Carlos Hyde weighed.
229.
Yeah. See, that's about Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon's about 230-ish. So I like that. I kind of had for Scatabo, maybe like an Ajayi, like a Jay Ajayi.
Not that fast. Was Jay Ajayi slow?
I don't know, to be honest.
I remember seeing him have some pretty good wins.
Just kind of like a height, weight kind of comp. You can like, okay, this guy's kind of the same size, but he's got more pass catching ability, etc. But yeah, Ollie Gordon is the youngest running back ever to win the Doak Walker. And the 4 running backs only 4 of them were sophomores. So only 4 sophomores ever have won the Doak Walker. And that's Ollie Gordon, Jonathan Taylor. What's the other guy? LaMichael.
I can look it up.
It's like, I don't even know, LaMichael Jean or something. And then it's Darren McFadden. But LaMichael's the only one that's under 200 pounds, which makes kind of sense for the NFL why he didn't work out. All the other guys are over 210.
It's hard to be it's like you're not going to be a 3-down back if you're under 200 pounds. You got to be.
You're going to be like, you're more of a Ferrari rather than a pickup truck is what I say.
And when you get hit by a pickup truck, linebacker blitzing, you're going to have a really sad time.
Absolutely.
What am I looking up for you?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
Was it something about JJ? Oh, there are 4 sophomore running backs ever to win the Doak Walker.
Yeah, I got stuck on Doak because I thought you were saying Doug. JT, LaMichael James. Oh, he did nothing in the league.
He is the best sometimes is Gronk.
Darren McFadden. He didn't last super long, did he? Like 4 or 5 years.
Darren McFadden?
Yeah.
Derek McFadden was awesome in the
NFL.
Darren McFadden. Well, he was awesome. Sorry, for 1 year, he was like absolutely just amazing. And he had like 1,100 rushing yards and 500 receiving yards. Other than that, he was pretty mid. But Jonathan Taylor, he's great. Jonathan Taylor is like,
he's the best.
He's like the next, like, you know, like once he gets there, Derrick Henry. Like he's gonna.
He can't pass block though, and this is like his first year he played every year or every game. He needs someone to spell him.
Yeah. So those are the only 19-year-olds ever to win the Doak Walker is those 3. It's Jonathan Taylor, Darren McFadden, and Ollie Gordon.
I think one out of those 3, correct me, I'll have to look it up a little more later, but I don't remember Darren McFadden being that good. Michael James, did he even like
no, he didn't do anything in the NFL? Well, Michael James.
All right, whatever.
Who do we need to hit?
Devin Neal.
Mr. Devin Neal?
Mr. Devin Neal.
We watched Devin Neal in person.
For years.
Devin Neal's very good.
We're a struggling team. He was the key part of revitalizing the Kansas football program when Jaden Daniels struggled mightily this year. That was the only spurt of life. They were losing close games, but he was the only reason they were in these close games when Jaden Daniels couldn't do anything, couldn't run, he couldn't throw. He did have Daniel Highshaw. He did have a good back behind him. He put on a little bit of more weight this year. I think he put on like 10 more pounds. Tough runner. He's a bulldozer. He'll run through motherfucker's face. He's a great leader. He was the pivotal guy on a team that completely transformed a program and had to motivate guys through, hey, we're actually not trying to be dog shit anymore. Let's go. He's a thumper. Draft him.
He also had 760 career carries and just 4 fumbles. So ball security is there. And
1,000 yards the last 3 years. Very
good. 4 fumbles on 760 career carries. Beautiful. NFL teams are going to love that. Henderson had 0 fumbles, so the NFL teams are also going to like that. But yeah, Devin Neal he's awesome. And he also, every year really he got better. As a pass catcher, as a runner, every year Devin Neal got better. And the metrics show that too as well. Like he was 108th in offensive grade back in 2022. And then he got to 36th in offensive grade in 2023. And then in 2024, he was 15th in offensive grade. So Devin Neal's pretty good. He had an 81st percentile college target share. He can catch passes.
He's only 21.
Huh?
He's only 21.
Only 21.
I thought he would have been like 23.
Him and Giddens are like the exact same age, and they're very, I don't know, kind of similar. DJ tested a lot better. DJ he ran a 4.43 40. And he's got like a 91st percentile speed score. So he's very solid. But also I'm going to have a little Kansas Jayhawk bias here and just, rank Devin Neal ahead of him. Because why?
I'm not saying anything nice about him.
But also, the metrics are there to show it. Giddens had a 53rd percentile college dominator rating, while Neal had an 85th percentile.
Yeah, Giddens is taller and he weighs less. Well, no, they weigh the same. He's an inch taller, but
they're so similar.
Yeah. How much faster was his 40 than Devin?
Devin Neal is pretty slow. I mean, he runs like a 4.5.
Yeah.
But Giddens is blazing quick.
Yeah.
Giddens ran a 4.43.
It'll be a bust.
Potentially. I really like Giddens though. To be honest, I really do I like every running back in my top 10. The only 2 I'm like really skeptical about is Henderson and Judkins. They just scare me for some reason. I don't know why. I do kind of know why. I did explain earlier in the video, but outside of that round 3, like Ollie Gordon is going to be a tremendous value for teams. Devin Neal is going to be a tremendous value for NFL teams. So that's why I was saying earlier, like NFL teams should probably pass up the opportunity to draft a running back in round 1 and just go with one in rounds 2 or 3 or 4. So that's when we can see maybe a better teams pick up these running backs. Come on. Why don't my Kansas City Chiefs pick up the hometown kid, Devin Neal from Lawrence, Kansas? He's played in Arrowhead before. Give the guy a shot.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Neal would be so good for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And you guys don't have a starter.
I loved Pacheco, but that injury last season and his return, he looked night and day like the player we once saw. So
he still ran like a cartoon. That's the whole thing about him.
He drives his knees and runs really angry. Yeah.
So hard.
But he's not going anywhere.
He's running a dream.
Just driving his knees and he's just in place.
Yeah. So you guys need to get back. You guys could be getting any of these guys.
Devin Neal though, he had 1,000. He's had 1,000 rushing yards each of the last 3 seasons at Kansas.
I said that first.
Oh, you did? Beautiful. Love the research.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe.
Yeah.
You're pretty proud of that one.
Well, I'm more proud about other things.
Something interesting. Kareem Hunt. He was 5'10", 215 or so. Devin Neal is 5'11", about 215 or so.
I had a Kareem Hunt comp somewhere in here, but Judkins.
Judkins? Your comp for Judkins was that was.
I didn't say it's mine. I said I've heard it.
Oh, you've heard it. I see.
Yep.
I honestly hate comps. Are like one of the worst things in the space.
It's just a fun thing to do.
It's so fun to do, though. Judkins. I mean, dude, Judkins he's like 6'2", 220.
It's good high weight.
That's solid. He's like David Johnson. David Johnson was awesome. David Johnson was 6', 220-ish.
Yeah. A lot of guys are 6', 220-ish.
David Johnson was also selected in late round 3. So you can just get so much value on running backs outside of round 1.
Yeah, unless they're absolute A tier. We gotta keep going here. We're gonna run out of our hour.
Yeah, we are. So should we just kind of round out the top 20?
Yeah, we can just quickly go through it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of go back, I guess.
Yeah, anything you missed, and then if I have anything, I'll throw it in.
So I did want to touch on another thing about Devin Neal. And so yards per team play. Jeanty is obviously first. Jeanty is first in a lot of running back metrics. But you know who is second in yards per team play out of this class? Devin Neal.
He's the man.
He's the man. He's also 5th in team yards market share.
And splitting that with Highshaw. It's impressive.
Very impressive. I really hope the Chiefs do something about that. Yeah, so we got Jeanty, Kaleb, Hampton, Judkins, Henderson, Gordon, Sampson, Scatabo, Neal, Giddens. And then you really like Damian Martinez. We talked about him. Tootin's kind of a question mark. Jordan James is pretty interesting. He's my RB13. Could be RB12 or 11 or even higher, you could argue. But yeah, Jordan James, he's pretty good. And he has a pretty cool name as well. He's only 21. So he's one of the younger backs in the class too. And, you know, Bucky Irving hit last year. He's an Oregon Duck. Jordan James, he's an Oregon Duck. Didn't test very well. Bucky didn't test very well. Might be something there. I like Jordan James. I think he's pretty good. He was 20th in offensive grade as a junior, an 8th as a sophomore. And he's like not the biggest guy.
Did you forget we already did the segment on Jordan James?
We didn't. Did we?
We did. But keep going. If you love him.
No, I
love him. Make love to him.
I like him quite a bit.
Okay.
And then there's who else? Jarquez Hunter from Auburn.
That's where I wanted to go.
You wanted to talk about Jarquez Hunter?
I like him. I like guys that I think can be, especially if you're going to take them, if you're going to go round 5 and up, I think you can be a change of pace guy, but I think Jarquez Hunter can be a 3-down back. Not super fast. I think he ran a 4.4.
That's really fast.
Yeah, but you've seen him get caught before.
No, he's pretty quick. He ran a 4.44. That's 90th percentile.
Yeah.
For
I don't know.
back. So
I think he could be solid.
Yeah, I really like Jarquez Hunter.
That's all I got on him.
You can't really go wrong with SEC running backs.
He led the SEC in rushing.
You can't really go wrong with early declares too. Love early declares. I don't really like super seniors, but Devin Neal, awesome. He's a great senior. Love
He's super.
He is super, and he's a senior. We love him. And then my 15th, RB15 was Raheem Sanders.
That sounds Hall of Fame, but I feel like he's, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
because of Dion. A lot to talk about with that guy, but he doesn't jack off. He said he never has in his entire life.
Who?
Dion. I never had to.
That's a lot.
I never had to. Impressive though, if not. I don't either, but to each their own.
Raheem Sanders had like 1,400 yards rushing his sophomore year at Arkansas. He's pretty good. I saw some stats so interesting about Raheem Sanders the other day.
What's that?
I don't know if anybody follows Jacob Gibbs on Twitter.
I don't.
Yeah, story for another time. So you really like Brashard Smith?
Yep.
My RB17. Why is that?
I don't know. Let me find my notes.
Vibes. Just vibes. Cool name.
He
used to be a wide receiver, and his final year, I guess, moved to wide receiver, running back, and was very good.
So this is I wouldn't be banging on the table to take this guy outside of, I don't know where he's been mocked, but I think round 5 is another good spot for this guy. He's a smaller guy, so we talked about he's going to have a hard time pass blocking. But he could be the top change of pace back in the draft. Ran a lot of screens. They gave him some jabs, but he's a good pass catcher. I think he's less than 190 pounds, which I think teams are going to want to try to get him up to 190 at least, because it's just – I have a hard time seeing a guy that's less than 190 pounds. Like cornerbacks, even too, when there's a tiny corner, like how are you supposed to tackle? You're just going to get your fucking teeth.
These are your change of pace pass catching backs. That's what Brashard Smith is. That's who my RB18 is, Jaden Blue from Texas. He kind of declared out of the blue, but he's, in my opinion, not very good. I would probably put my RB, thinking about it now, I really like LaQuint Allen from Syracuse. LaQuint Allen, who is my RB19. I would actually argue that LaQuint Allen might be better than Jaden Blue or Brashard Smith or RJ Harvey. LaQuint Allen's pretty good.
Those are all change of pace names as well. It's not
like
Judkins.
Jaden Blue. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about names and whether we think they're a Hall of Famer or not, but Yeah, none of those sound very enticing to me. But pretty much every running back in my top 15, I am 100% interested in. So we said the consensus was Jeanty, and it is. But after Jeanty, you can rank these running backs however you want, in my opinion. So we obviously ranked them for you today. We had my top 5 or my top 3 was Jeanty, Kaleb, and Hampton. So we'll see how that does and where they get landing spots. I know the Broncos are looking for a running back. They're
they might move up for one. They might go for
carousel going on. But I really like Audric Estime.
Maybe.
But he might not be the guy, but who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think that's ball talk.
I think that's enough talking ball for now. Sunday we're going to cover wide receivers. Should be interesting. I'm very excited for that show, actually.
I got to learn because my draft knowledge comes from my Colts, and they're not taking one, so I got a lot of slight deep dives to do.
The Colts community helps you?
You shared your opinion on Colts Twitter earlier, and I'm not going to repeat that here. But yeah, there's no receiver talk in Colts Twitter.
Well, I mean, they got Pittman. I like Josh Downs.
White chocolate. Or Alec Pierce, sorry.
Oh, Alec Pierce. White chocolate. Is that what you call him?
We're not going to talk about Adonai Mitchell today, but maybe someday.
Oh, Adonai Mitchell's good too.
No, is that how you feel?
Yeah, you just need to get a quarterback
that
can actually hit him when he's open, which Anthony Richardson can't do.
He will.
When?
Next time.
In my opinion, the Anthony Richardson project is so over.
We'll talk about that on quarterback day.
You know what's not over? The Chiefs dynasty.
Yeah, it is. They're not making the playoffs next year.
The Chiefs?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
The Chiefs, in my opinion, one huge piece for them in this draft is running back. They need a good – well, they also just got rid of P-Rod. Not that it even matters, but they need to get a running back.
Safety and a corner.
Correct.
You're not a corner.
Use higher picks on secondary, and you could easily get Devin Neal in probably the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Maybe even the 4th.
Yeah, they got to get someone in that.
That's the thing, though. It's like you can get your starting running back in the 3rd or 4th round because of how deep this running back class is.
You need a receiver too, but we can get into that one because you just lost. All your guys are going to be in jail soon. But
Rashee Rice,
Worthy was close.
Worthy. I don't know if you looked into that situation, but Worthy looks to be fine.
But he was close.
It nicked him.
No, you guys need a tight end. You're a diva superstar.
Oh, you think we need to?
Queen and,
but Kelsey said he's going to go until the wheels fall off.
They might have fallen off, or at least lack of effort.
No, just like one of the training wheels fell off 2 years ago, or when he started dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah. All right, we're going into other topics. That's ball talk.
Yeah. All right. Point is, love my Chiefs, and I swear to God, if Luther Burden falls to the Chiefs, why not? Why not? Honestly, 3 wide receivers, Rice, dude. Here's the reason why the Chiefs don't need to draft another tight end. It's because Rice runs the routes that Kelsey does.
Yeah, but he's running them from – they put him in the slot? Is he like a big slot?
Yeah, a little bit, kind
Just
of.
like Taylor?
Mostly they're up the middle, short, intermediate range, catch, and just go back as far as you can. But yeah, Rice is really not that.
If he misses half the year, then you don't got either.
Worthy's your big play guy. Rice is short, intermediate range, but Worthy, who I really like, is your big play guy.
Outside. Talking receivers on running back day, Mr. Smooth.
Yeah, we are. That's why I'm mentioning Luther Burden.
We have receiver day on Sunday.
Luther Burden, LB3, wide receiver 1.
You gonna make me do a hard end to the pod?
No. But yeah, we need to wrap this up. So
really?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Until Sunday, we'll see you later. This is the episode 1 of Ball Talk Running Backs. Sunday we will talk wide receivers.
I'm gonna work on a cool trademark out. Let's go with ball out.
No, that's awful.
It's just the only thing I came up with right now. I had never thought about it before.
You're the Joe.
What's Joe out?
All right. See you guys later.
Joe out.